To the November 18th Lane Select Board meeting. All the select board members except for Hazel Stevenson are present. The town manager is present. I'll call the meeting to order and we can start with pledge of allegiance. Flag is in the back of the room. Pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do any board members or the town manager have any additional business they'd like us to consider taking on tonight that's not on the printed agenda? Okay. Does any board member have a conflict of interest with any of our business tonight? Nope. Okay, there is none. We've got several guests tonight appearing either in person or via Zoom regarding some of the agenda items. So if there's no objection, I'd like to take those items out of order to minimize the time those folks are required to spend with us.
Good.
Under new business, item 9A is discuss the need for a cannabis ordinance, and if one is needed, discuss the process for ordinance drafting. The State Office of Cannabis Policy has kindly offered to make a representative available via Zoom to address any questions the board members might have regarding the need for cannabis ordinance. My understanding that person is Elisa Ellis, and she's here with us on Zoom right now, I believe. Elisa, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Thank you for taking your time to visit with us about this.
Of course.
I've suggested that we each review the MMA information packets on adult use and medical cannabis. And I'd suggest that we begin our discussion of the need for an ordinance like this by discussing exactly what conduct the ordinance would regulate and why we want to regulate it. At this point, I'd like to open the discussion. And I'd like to invite Elisa to share any initial remarks or insights that she might have concerning regulation by towns that have not opted into either adult use or medical use cannabis under the statutes. Do you have anything you want to tell us before we start talking, Elisa?
Sure, I'll give you a couple pieces. So we administer two separate programs, an adult use program and a medical program, and they work differently. So you should be aware of that. On the adult use side, you have to opt in for any type of facility, cultivation, manufacturing, retail, testing. You have to specifically opt in or they're not allowed to operate in your town. Medical works a little differently. You have to opt in for retail stores, dispensaries, and inherently hazardous manufacturing. But caregiver cultivations, manufacturing, and wholesale operations, you can operate in your town. You cannot ban them, but you can regulate them. So you can put zoning regulations, you can put permit requirements and things like that in place for those, but you cannot ban or prohibit them completely.
Now, Alyssa, when you speak to wholesale operations, I understand that a caregiver can acquire the cannabis from a wholesaler, but can a wholesale distributor establish a business here under the medical cannabis statute without town approval?
Yes, they can, and they can deliver to patients from that location in your town. They just cannot open a retail store.
All right. Anything else?
I would say even though you can't prohibit those caregiver activities, having some kind of way for them to register with you is a good idea. We have had towns, for example, the grow facilities need a lot of electricity and not a lot of lights. They've had a fire. Town fire department has gone in. There's cannabis burning. They're breathing in secondhand smoke while they're trying to put out a fire because they had no idea what was there. So even if you have some kind of registration, just so you know what's there for emergency reasons.
Now, all these medical cannabis caregivers, are they required to register with the state?
Almost all. There are registered caregivers and unregistered caregivers. If you are growing just to take care of a patient that is a family member or a household member, you do not have to register with us. Those
And,
caregivers are smaller operations, maybe 6 to 12 plants.
and whatever activities those people would do, caring for members of their household, I mean, they would be able to do that anyway, isn't that true?
Yes.
I mean, it's just like under the general state law of adult cannabis use, not talking about sales, but growing your own.
Well, it seems to me, isn't it, that you can, if it personal use is, if I remember reading correctly, 3 plants, and I think she said that if you are a caregiver for a family member, you can have far more than that. Is
Yeah.
that, did I get that right?
I don't know.
Yes,
Lisa,
it
can
does
you
increase
tell
the amount you can have.
us- Okay. And the people who are registered caregivers, we can know them by contacting the state, correct?
Yes.
And we can put additional regulations on those caregivers if we should decide to.
Such as,
That was my next question.
oh.
What kind of regulations do towns have on their caregivers? Even though they cannot prohibit them, are there many towns? And I think you said that you would suggest that you do that a town does adopt regulations and licensing in order to keep track of what's going on in town. Is that correct? And are there examples of what regulations some towns might put in place in order to manage that process?
Yeah, towns, I mean, it's the full spectrum. You have some towns who really don't want it, so they make it really restrictive. Like if you're gonna grow, you have to have written permission from all of your abutting neighbors. Because they really don't want them and they know they're not gonna be able to get it. And then other towns who just, they allow it in certain districts, they put caps on how long they can be. A lot of these are home businesses, so if you have a general home business ordinance, they have to follow that existing ordinance as well. So you wouldn't need a separate ordinance if you already have that. But some of these
Alyssa?
are kitchen, they're using their home kitchen to bake cannabis infused goods. Do you want to know about that? If somebody's just making non-cannabis brownies to sell at a farmer's market, do you have a business for that? Or not? So some treat them the
Well-
same as all businesses and some treat them differently.
Now, Alyssa, tell me if this is true or not. I can make all the cannabis laced brownies in my kitchen that I please for my personal use and consumption and to give to my friends. True or false?
There's a limit on how much you're allowed to have in your possession, with or without a medical
Okay.
card.
Okay. But now, if the town can't restrict, if the town can't keep a caregiver from operating within the town, how is it that the neighbors can do that?
Because they're not prohibiting from the town, they're prohibiting them from that one location. They can try to find another place to grow.
So we could put that would be put in where? In a zoning ordinance?
Or a
Okay.
separate cannabis ordinance that you would adopt.
Can you tell us any towns that have such an ordinance that we could look at?
That very restrictive one is Woodville.
Okay.
And like I said, it runs the full spectrum depending on what you want to do. Many other towns have ordinances. Some counties have county level ordinances for their unorganized territories. So there's lots of examples out there, depending on what you want to do.
Okay,
Do you know generally what kind of regulations towns might prefer to have, or do they just run the gamut?
They really just run the gamut. I mean, some require every single one to register and they put a very big fee on them registering. Some have zoning restrictions, and so they restrict them to certain zones depending on the size they are. A caregiver can't grow more than 500 square foot canopy. So you're not looking at huge operations with a caregiver.
and it's 30 plants also, is that correct?
There's different levels they can choose from. The biggest
they
level
go
is
more-
the 500 square foot.
Okay. And where do they choose that?
on their application with us.
State, okay. Now, would you say that most towns have adopted these ordinances or most have not? Or would you have any way of knowing?
We've been trying to keep track of it. With medical, they don't need to know. So it only comes up if we find out about it, but more and more towns are adopting them.
Okay. Now, on a licensing fee, I can't prohibit a caregiver from conducting a home business in town. What are my restrictions on licensing? I mean, license fee can certainly be prohibitive, $10,000 to,
There are no limits.
Doesn't-
I know Yarmouth charges $25, Lebanon charges $20,000.
Do you have any
And-
takers?
and,
$20,000. So it
And
goes
that-
anywhere in between there.
okay, and that's, no one has challenged that,
No.
okay?
We've seen the town of Reed Fields, ordinance was passed around the other day. And between that and all of the backup material, I just said, I can't figure out what the hell this is about. It's just too complicated. What the heck? Could we just adopt theirs and say that's gonna be our ordinance?
Well, you
Well,
could
they-
adopt
they-
Reedfield's ordinance if you wanted to opt into medical cannabis.
No,
No.
we can't opt
But-
out of medical cannabis, but theirs is retail as well.
But,
Retail adult use.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've
Yeah.
opted into, well, I don't think they have adult use and, they don't have a retail adult use. They have retail medical, I believe. But
I
could be
think that
wrong.
they had adult.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think there were two separate ordinances, weren't there?
okay.
Am I right?
Elisa, do you have to, if you opt into one, does that also include you to opting into the other?
No, it does not. And you can be specific, like on adult use, you can opt in only for cultivation and nothing else. You can opt in only for retail stores and nothing else. You get to choose what you want. The other thing is like on the medical dispensaries, a big one is a medical dispensary is a medical license given to a business entity. They can have an unlimited cultivation. So if you opt in for that and you want to put a limit on it, you can do that.
Do you have to have some kind of language that states that you're opting in, or can you sit there and just create an ordinance and does it need to be all encompassing and address everything?
If you don't address it, then it'll go back to statute. And if it's not addressed there, then there's no ordinance in place.
And also, you would have to have a warrant article, or I suppose it could be included in the ordinance, but you'd have to have something specifically passed by the town opting in. Would you agree with that, Elisa?
Yes, to opt in, you have to do it by ordinance or warrant article.
Yeah, and so, and I think you can opt into either one.
I don't think, so if I'm correct, you don't, medical cannabis is allowed. If you want to be involved with medical cannabis, you don't have to, there's no opting in, it is allowed, but we do have the option of regulating it if we
Oh,
want.
only for caregivers. A medical dispensary, manufacturing facility, Alyssa, what facets, and you already told us this, but I didn't write it down. What facets of the medical cannabis business requires a town to opt in before it's allowed?
You must opt in for dispensaries, any activity. A manufacturing facility, which does inherently hazardous substance extraction, and caregiver retail stores.
So the only business that's allowed without an opting in is basically a caregiver, which is a home business, dealing with specific clients.
It's not always a home business, but it's a caregiver cultivating, manufacturing, or doing wholesale.
Okay, but if they have a store, aren't they a store? When we say it's not a home business, what kind of facility would a medical caregiver have?
they would get a warehouse and they would put 5 or 6 caregivers, each going 500 square feet in that building.
Okay,
And
Okay.
right now in your town, they can do that.
has that happened places?
Yes, yes, we have some buildings that have 6, 7, up to 10 or 15 caregivers in them.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Yes, it's a lot of cannabis.
Heard it. To say we want one of these things?
Well. Okay, so did the board members have any other questions for Alyssa?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying.
Now, Alyssa, if we were going to write an ordinance like this, can we get assistance from your office?
We cannot help you writing it, MMA can. We can
Okay.
look at it to let you know if it would be enforceable by us or not, because we can help you enforce it and we can, whether or not we could deny a license based on your ordinance. We can look at it in that aspect, but we can't give you legal advice.
Okay, now, if we have an ordinance, does a applicant, does somebody who wants to register with the state, do you consider our ordinance in approving their application?
Yes, so we have just started in the past couple months. Every time someone applies with us, we will email the municipality immediately letting you know there's an application pending, so you can let us know if they meet your ordinance or not. And if they don't, I will deny their license.
Have you had any from Wayne?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have 2 registered caregivers right now.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Alyssa? Well, thank you for your help.
You're very welcome. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay, board discussion.
We had Suzanne from MMA, you had already provided that information, it was
Yes,
pretty good,
and,
your questions.
but I believe
added
she
to it.
was saying that she was not aware of any towns that had non-opting towns that had ordinances. Or not, I got it right here. Let's see what we said here.
I know she said regulating, for example, with signage and you can
Well,
regulate odor.
I
and-
said whether Maine towns that have not voted to authorize either adult use or medical cannabis establishments. This is a question whether Maine towns that have not voted to authorize either adult use or medical cannabis establishments typically enact cannabis ordinances. She starts this out by saying generally no. Since these cannabis businesses are prohibited, now maybe she's thinking about businesses that are prohibited. She says she hasn't done a comprehensive study. I've not done a comprehensive survey of municipalities, but I'm not aware of any that have adopted ordinances addressing these establishments when they've not opted in to allow them.
Mhm.
Maybe she's speaking of adult use, I don't know. But then she goes on to say that on the medical side, medical caregivers do not have to have the opt-in. And some municipalities have adopted land use or zoning regulations that apply to caregivers, or have adopted licensing ordinances that apply to caregivers. I think, okay, so that's what I've got from them.
Could I ask the fire chief, are you concerned about somebody having a growing facility and then having it get blown up into fire and create a hazard for your employees?
Doesn't keep me up at night, but it's definitely a concern, especially given what she was just saying. If you can get 15 people in a warehouse and they all have an exponential amount of plants.
Why do you have 15 people in it for a warehouse? I don't understand. I don't even know how this industry works.
Space,
What,
it reduces your overhead costs.
And so therefore you can have one warehouse with 5,000 square feet
It'd
of
be the same,
cannabis.
it'd be the same as
and-
6 daycares leasing that space in.
I
having
understand
all the
across
bullshit at
from the
once.
pumpkin patch, it's boards, that there's a defunct marijuana house. You aware of that? Or is that incorrect?
I am not sure,
Wouldn't talk
Where-
specific.
yeah.
where,
We just
Yeah.
get told that there's been an
Yeah.
application or a renewal of an application. We don't get the specifics.
But this would be an opportunity if people want to have a larger operation. You can limit the size of the operation, and B, you would, like she was saying, you would be aware of hazardous situations in town.
I guess this is a code enforcement question, but where under our zoning ordinance in town are you allowed to locate a warehouse with 15 pot distributors?
I think that there's quite an open-ended spot in R3 and all of your rural areas. And even R2, I think that there's exemptions.
So if people were distilling gin and you could distill a little bit at your house for free, and give it to certain people, you know, within a certain amount of time. And then a lot of people could get together and all have distilleries in one place, but they all own it. So all of a sudden you have a large distillery. Would a town find that it might be helpful to just keep track of what's going on? I mean, I really wouldn't care in many ways, but
Mhm.
would it be important to be able to track who's distilling and dispensing alcohol?
I think it would be important if there's a purpose to be served by it. If you can't stop it, if you can't regulate it, if you can't do anything about it, then, and this is just my personal opinion. But, if we enact an ordinance. Well, first off, if we request that the town enact an ordinance and the town acts on that and does enact it, then we need to be ready to do whatever it is we say we're going to do in that ordinance and have the capacity to do it.
I can't think of all the ramifications.
Mhm.
And I can't,
Yeah.
and nothing like horrendous other than a fire in a big facility that you guys need to go deal with. And she brought that up. Other than that, I can't think of any. But what I'd like to do is understand what towns, and I also don't see why there's any reason why we would. I mean, if default if opt-out is the default for retail, I can't see that we bother with that right now. But I'd like to know what towns have put in regulation who have not opted into either of them. What
Okay.
they might have written down,
Mhm.
what their brainstorming might have come up with as particular reasons to just track what's going on. If there were 50 people who wanted a license in town, would we care to know that at all? Would that be important?
Well, again, I'm not so sure about this $20,000 license fee.
Well, that's kind of crazy.
When the law says you can't prohibit it, but
That effectively stops it, though.
I think I'm all for whatever the group wants to do. I suggest that if we're going to suggest that the town needs an ordinance, we should be able to articulate to the town why they need it and what's involved in enforcing it.
Absolutely.
And so, if we want to take that on, how do we plan on divvying up the work?
Well, we could call, did you actually speak with somebody at Reed Field and getting that ordinance, or did you just copy it someplace?
So our code enforcement officer, we have an interlocal agreement with Reed Field.
Oh, yeah,
and
okay.
so,
And what does
he-
the code enforcement officer say about the whole thing?
So he's the one who brought it to our attention.
Okay,
I have not heard of any concerns from residents. But our code enforcement officer, since we had received those 2 requests and the one in April for cultivation and wholesale purchase, he turned to the Reed Field ordinances as a model and an example, saying that maybe that's something that the town of Wayne should consider, to be proactive on the, grow operations.
So we all know that.
But the
generally
Reed Field
speaking-
ordinances are predicated on having opted in,
Yes,
on the town having opted in.
that is correct.
And so
The
those
larger-
ordinances really might have limited applicability to a town that hasn't opted in. I'm not saying that they do, I'm not saying that they don't. But I'm saying that Augusta probably has a pretty robust ordinance for adult use and
Yeah,
medical. I don't know that we need to take that ordinance and copy it since we haven't adopted in. And if we want to suggest that the town does adopt in for either medical or adult use, we probably should have a good reason to tell them why we think that's a good idea.
So I agree with what Marion said earlier, that it would be valuable, helpful if we knew of towns that opted out
Mhm.
recreational. And now they're trying to get ahead of anything that might go wrong on the medical side, right? And I think generally speaking about any issue, it's better to have an ordinance in place than try to chase after something that's gone beyond your control, right? So let's try to figure that out. Who's done this before and why? And what's driven them to do it, whether it's fire code concern, whether it's, there's big patches of land that looks perfect to put a medical facility out there and just grow marijuana with 50 people in there. So let's try to find that out. And you want me to take ownership of that? I'll
I
take
think,
ownership of it.
I think that's good.
I'll take
But, and I was just gonna say,
I saw
let's
you
have-
looking
let's
at
have a-
me.
let's have a
in the
game
end,
plan.
so-
that's it.
I will also share with that. I think just trying to figure out what other, because I see three tiers. I see the retail is one tier, opting into the retail, opting into a high level medical facilities. And then the homegrown, smaller that you can't prohibit, but you can understand better, regulate, come in, give me $5 and I'll give you a license. And now we know how many, how extensive
and that might not.
and where, and
That $5 license is over in Augusta, right, by the 95. It's a gas station, former gas station.
And
oh, right.
when we're doing this, Tom and Mary Ann, I think we also want to see under our existing land use ordinances, what of these potential abuses are possible anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Good.
and so, maybe the next, and you all don't know exactly, at least maybe you do, but if I was sitting in your seat, I'd say, I don't really know what I've just bitten off. So you certainly can't commit now, but maybe at the next meeting, we could revisit this, about just, hey, here's what's gonna be involved and here's what we're looking at as far as a time frame.
I think we can get a general idea as to the magnitude
Okay.
of the issue.
Okay.
Enough to decide whether we need to go further or whether it's a real non-issue.
Okay. So do we want to do that at maybe the second meeting in December? Sometime in
Whichever one
January?
has less on its agenda, I'd
And
say.
you're not here for the first meeting in December.
Yeah, I'm not here for the first meeting, but I don't need to be here. I think you all can guess where I'm coming down on this. So, no, and you could have it at the next meeting, that would be fine. I just, the reason,
I'll talk to you. after.
sometimes I think we have a
Look at it.
tendency to have something hang on our agenda forever. And so I'd like to put some kind of a game plan.
I just don't see this as a burning issue.
Okay.
Haha, that's a pun. I don't see this as a burning issue.
Well,
And so,
yeah.
if we have other things that are higher priority,
Yeah.
in for the next meeting, I'd rather put it off to the following
okay.
meeting, that's all.
Okay,
So we'll talk with you. Okay.
So the next item on the agenda is, I believe that Taylor's here, our fire chief, regarding agenda items number 9B and 9C. B is consider approving fire department request to participate in the holiday stroll. And C is consider approving $42,356 transfer from the fire department equipment reserve account for communications equipment and PPE. Taylor, you want to tell us about that?
Yes, so the first one, I just want to correct a little bit. We're looking for specific verbiage to be able to carry Santa from the station to the tree lighting. Because it's a non-town sponsored event, and it's public equipment. So it's not the participating in the stroll so much as
Okay,
that section of it.
Work.
Yes.
Okay.
And if it's especially cloudy, you might.
You want, does the fire department want to haul Santa?
We have historically, it's just, it's an insurance phrase,
To drive Santa,
transport.
transport Santa.
Transport. So can we just make a motion to allow the fire department to transport Santa?
Sure,
Uh,
I'll make a motion to that we approve the fire department participating in the Wayne Holiday Stroll by transporting Santa on town equipment from the North Pole to wherever, no, from where we transporting them from Taylor,
Watch
from
out.
where?
The 133 station to the tree lighting.
Okay,
Need a
from the
second.
fire station to the tree
I
line.
want to be official. I'm seconding Santa.
I want to third it. I third it.
I want my name.
Okay.
I'll second that.
It's all
right. Any discussion by the board further?
Wouldn't dare.
Public comment on the Santa transport?
Did you include driving them back again? I think
We don't actually drive them back.
Yeah.
One way.
Right, insurance premiums
Disappear.
slightly hit.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Okay, Taylor, tell us about the 42-356-40.
I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but a smaller portion, I think it's $5,000 or $6,000 of that is for radio equipment. And the larger portion is for a number of new air bottles for the self-breathing air
For us.
packs. Thank you. We're upgrading from what is currently we call them 2216 bottles. They're 2,000, roughly 2,000 pounds of air, 30-minute bottles, to a 4,500 PSI bottle, which is smaller and more lightweight. And they cost a significant amount.
And this is a worthwhile expense in your estimate, and it leaves enough in the reserve to take care of whatever else might come up in the short term?
Yeah.
Thanks. Any discussion by board members on this? Public comment? Okay, someone want to make a motion?
Can I move to approve the transfer of $42,356.40 from the fire department equipment reserve account for communications equipment and personal protective equipment?
Second.
Thanks, Jen.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Our next visitor tonight on the item we're taking out of order is item 8D, the Elgin Community Forum update from Doug Stevenson and Wayne Presents.
Okay, well, thank you. I think all of you attended, so I'm glad to see that level of support. I told you last time I was here, would be conducting this event. Thank you to Lloyd for stimulating us. I'd like to ask Whitey to give you a summary of it, even though you were there, just for the record of what we did. It was very successful, and then I'll talk about the next steps with her as well.
Hi, I'm Lydie Robbins. I'm the Executive Director of the 30 Mile River Watershed Association. So as Doug said, it was well attended. We had about 150 people who were there either in person or online, and since hundreds of people have viewed the recording of the forum. So Doug opened it up talking about the value of the lake to the tax base in the town of Wayne, so about $111 million of property, which was 27% of the taxes, just for on Androscoggin Lake. I spoke about the work that 30 Mile has been doing to reduce phosphorus levels in the lake, phosphorus being the main reason for the growth of the algae, of the cyanobacteria. I also spoke about the work that 30 Mile and others are doing to study the issue and to collect data and working towards solutions. Ted Tucci is the president of the Lake Association, spoke about opportunities for volunteer projects, also work that ALEC wants to do on a septic ordinance. And then we had a third speaker, who was Matt Scott, who was a retired lake expert, who spoke about work that's happened on other lakes to address algal blooms in the state. So that was followed by a Q&A session. So there were lots of questions that we didn't have time to answer. And then there were lots of questions online as well. So we're putting together all those questions with responses, which we'll post on 30 Mile's website. So that's a quick summary of the evening. So as far as next steps go, at the event, I spoke about putting together an advisory group of stakeholders. So this would not be a group of technical experts, but really a diverse group of stakeholders representing Wayne and Lee's and business interests, lake owner interests, non-lake owner interests, other folks who recreate on the lake. So putting together a small advisory group, we foresee that there would be additional work groups to focus on specific issues or tasks you're looking under that advisory group. So that would be one next step. Another next step is putting together a work plan and budget for the future study that needs to be done over the next couple of years to be able to identify a solution to address the algal bloom. Then another step in the next few months, not tonight, we don't need to get into it, but I'd like to talk with the town about a grant opportunity that the town would need to be an applicant, that this could provide some funding for this work that we're talking about. So being able to hire expert lake scientists to analyze the data that we collect, engineers to look at doing some study of the dam and understanding the flows from the Dead River and how much the Dead River is impacting this. So those are the primarily like the three next steps that we're currently working on. And yes, Lloyd?
I think another next step too is gonna be a series of meetings through Wayne Presents or otherwise, doing what you did last Monday. One at Leeds, that it ought to be done, and I've already talked to the member of the select board about that. I'm gonna talk to you about who could do it and so on, and but it need not be the same, because that's the characters, because you don't wanna get, you got work to do, we gotta to get you buried in more speaking obligations, but there's also a need for follow-up on some of the technical things, which could be done through that sort of a thing. And I bet you some people would come if we were gonna get into much more detail about the resource and the data that we've got. And we welcome interest in what is it, what topics should be next. Because I have promised already that there'll be several, at least, over time, and I think those can go on concurrently with all the things that you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's clear from the interest and the participation last week that there are a lot of people in town, and not just people who own property, but a lot of people are really concerned about this, and it really is an issue that's important to the whole town.
So you'll wait to hear from us regarding what they could do in Leeds for
Sure. Now, just one more dimension to that is communication. So we would anticipate having a routine. Now we've got the thing, ball rolling, you gotta keep it rolling. So we would anticipate having every month an article in the Messenger that could be broadcast through the Messenger, but ALEC has its own communications, 30 Mile River has its own, everybody has their own communication channels. Try to use those. I think we'd be happy to come back here, either every meeting or every other meeting, to tell you and your constituents what's going on. This is a citizen initiated drive that we're going to try and keep it citizen based, but at some point, there may be places we'd like to stay very close to link to what you're doing. I would say there's a website already on 30 Mile River that we can post information for, and people can see what's going on, rather than create a separate structure. It already exists, and we'd like to make sure that we use the resources of 30 Mile River, because we've been associated with 30 Mile River for as long as I can remember on this lake. It's a great technical and connected resource. So I think if folks have questions, we should be doing that. Now, we are working on the advisory group would be at the top level, but then we're also populating all these sub-working groups could be on ordinances, it could be on science, it could be on other people's experiences, it could be on, I've got, at least in my mind, there are 8 or 10 or 11 of these groups that people who have passions and come forward, we can say, this is a place for you to contribute right here. And take these 4 people and go work up what you think is the resource for that. There's a lot of work already done, and there's a lot to be brought together. But I think, it's gonna be an interesting process, but we do know that between now and next summer, we have this little quiet window almost of time to show real progress. And Ted's working on some metrics that we can track progress on the actual science and on the project itself. So I think it'll be very exciting so far.
Could there are some groups in town that we have an email system that reaches throughout the town. Can we also utilize that because I think keeping it in front of people and top of mind for as many people as possible is so vital. So I'm wondering if we can do a blurb that we can send out from the town office periodically.
Yeah, sure, we'd be happy to contribute that. So the various solutions will come in different dimensions and different timeframes. I know that there's one that's already started, I think, which is looking at the impact of septic systems and licensing septic systems, or review of septic systems as we go forward. And so that's something that probably be on a more accelerated track than other things. So you'll see maybe information about that, but it has to be taken in the context of the overall larger solution. It's something that can be done fairly soon. It has long-term effects, obviously, but we wouldn't want to wait until do everything once down the road. As long as it fits together, it should be done. Should be proposed, discussed.
And so specifically, what action are you looking for now from the select board?
Actually, nothing.
Yeah, no, I think
We
this
can
is
do
really,
that.
really to update you to make sure they're keeping you in the loop.
Yes, okay.
And to give you an opportunity to ask any
Yeah.
questions that, might have come up that you didn't get answered last week or that you've had since then.
Yes, ma'am.
And to your point, there may be a point down the road where there's some ordinances that we will want to enact in order to protect lakes.
So
But
I
we
think
don't
one
have
thing
it.
the select board can be thinking of is how you can collaborate with leads.
Yeah.
That's something that nobody really else.
And we're working on that.
Do you know is there any way that you could find out, or did you know whether there were any folks from Leeds who came the other night?
In fact, Camp Tecawitha was online.
Great, that's good to hear.
Yeah, and I was in touch with the select board and I'm not sure, I haven't followed up with him since to know if they attended or watched it, so.
He couldn't make it himself from something that came up, but he's serious about it, and
Yeah.
we will hear, they meet on Wednesday, and so we will hear it after
But
that.
Leidy's told me that there were 600 people that have seen the video since.
Well, that was when I checked Thursday last week, so I don't know
Wow.
how many it is now.
Wow.
Well, congratulations, that was a good presentation.
Yeah.
It was a good
lot of-
program.
Yeah.
Well, I
nice.
would say one more little quick thing is that as these little work groups go forward, we want to be completely tricked. We want to engage as many people as we can. So I suspect that we will ask them to each conduct their own little, I don't want to call them hearings, but opportunities for people to participate in the work that they're doing so that they can see how this is coming together. This is not a small issue. It didn't happen overnight. It's not going to get solved overnight.
And it's incredibly serious.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
Well, one more thing, I'll, just a heads up, because I'll be following up with this later, but over the last couple of years, 30 Mile worked with the town on our septic database. So we got a grant from the Maine Outdoor Heritage Fund and we did a septic system vulnerability assessment of the whole watershed. I referenced this a little bit in my presentation, but we'd like to be able to share with the town the results and how the town can use that database. Identify vulnerable areas for septic system failure and possible water quality threats. So I'll be in touch with you about that in the next few weeks.
Great.
So would you like to have a little report each meeting or every other
No,
meeting, or just
no.
when there's something to say?
I think if you have, if you feel that you need to update us, just let us know.
Okay.
And we can put you on the agenda.
Great, we appreciate it.
And one thing that I'm interested in is I hear a lot of talk about the septic systems. And I'm interested to know, are we saying that there is non-compliance with existing ordinances? And how do we know that? And how do we find it out? Are we saying that ordinances need to be revised? What is it exactly the issue, but I'm not asking you to tell me now, but I'm just saying, when, I would like to know in terms of what does the town need to do vis-a-vis ordinance revision or enhanced enforcement or some other type of regulation that's within the town's, powers.
And that's something that we could talk about in that setting
Yes.
that I was referencing.
Okay, hey, thanks.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
thanks for your time.
Yes.
Okay, now we're back on our normal agenda, item 6, meeting minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to look at those?
You do have one of the members for the select board present, if you wanted to address that too,
Say what?
for section 8B.
Yeah, it's the, and that's one of the things that need, and let's take 8B. We'll take 8B next, since, two people are here, I believe, right? Yeah, 2 of them are here.
Yeah.
But it's for the school board.
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
Select board.
Select board.
Oh,
And that needs to be fixed in the minutes also, when we get back to that. Okay, so, we have to consider appointing, it's item 8B, old business, consider appointing someone to serve the remaining term for the vacant RSU 38 school board seat. Now, is this the vacancy, this is Tom Wells' position?
yes,
And his term expires in June of 27, I believe, so are we selecting someone to serve until June of 27?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It's the remainder.
Good.
I'll check on what time frame.
Has everybody had a chance to look at the applications? Okay. Well, we have Andrew Gorel, who has experience on town boards and committees. He's the parent of an RSU 38 kindergartner. And he's vitally interested in the school, and he works as a software engineer and web designer. I feel like I'm on the dating game as a moderator. Also here with us is Steve Saunders. He's a retired educator. He has 18 years as a teacher and administrator at Maranicook High School. His children attended the school district schools, and his grandchildren currently attend the school district schools. And I'm going to come back to each of you to tell me anything more that you want. And then we have Cheryl Lang. And for each of these candidates, I did a little internet creeping also, just to see what I could, what I could find. Cheryl Lang, who's not here, is a retired educator, 25 years experience. She's worked at several school districts, was a principal. She worked for the State Department of Education as the ESEA director. She has a master's degree in education and a doctorate in education. And those are our three candidates.
We've got 3. That's amazing.
I know.
That's great.
Three
They always
wonderful.
had 3 on the dating game too. So, before we open up discussion here, Andrew, would you like to tell us anything else?
I guess I would just say that I'm also thrilled that there are 3 candidates. I don't actually know Steve or Cheryl, but both of their credentials seem amazing and far outstrip my own. And really, the only reason my hat is in there is because some people suggested it would be good to have a parent candidate. So that is all I offer.
Thank you, Andrew. Steve, anything?
Well, I think likewise, I wanted to make sure that we were represented. And heard that people were scrambling around trying to find candidates. And I was approached, and obviously I have a huge investment in this district. I've lived here, lived in the area since 1970 and lived in Wayne since 1976. And all my kids have gone through the system, and I have been part of it for a lot of years. I think it's a wonderful district, and have strong feelings about what's important, namely that our kids are getting the very best education they can possibly get. So I'll leave it at that.
Board discussion?
I'm absolutely thrilled that there are three great candidates.
So we have to choose one right now. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the idea. We're gonna pick someone. Any thoughts, Lloyd, any thoughts?
They're all great to me and, I just don't know what to do,
Okay,
but. Well, I listen to whatever, what the other people think.
Tom?
How many people are on the school board overall? Is it just one person or two people?
We-
Two representatives. for
We have
Wayne.
two representatives for Wayne, but I think one is vacant. That's for like when Tom leaves, we have no representatives. Is that correct?
I
Or
think
is
it's
everyone,
been
is,
David Twitchell
oh, David Twitchell's on? Okay, okay.
until June of
Yeah.
'26.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to think about compliments to whomever's on the board from an experiential perspective. Trying to get a better picture of what we might be, how we're thinking about this.
That's very hard.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know Andrew. Sort of know Steve, but not that well. I don't know Cheryl Lang at all. Everybody's a Wayne resident who applied. I gotta say, she's got a strong resume. She's worked at the number of school districts. She was the high school principal. And she's worked as the state director of the State Department of Education as ESEA director, which is the federal program that helps schools enhance their services primarily for disadvantaged kids. So that's it. Public comment.
Good luck.
Yes, ma'am. You have to tell us your name.
I'm Jeannie Burnett.
Yes.
I don't know Cheryl at all, but I would say that both Andrew and Steve, I like the fact that parent and a grandparent, like that there's some kind of like actual parent involvement in the school district. That would be, and I think the other parents have expressed that that's can help to them.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would concur. David is a wonderful person, David Twitchell, but I don't believe he has any children or grandchildren in the system at all. Not to diminish his volunteering for a town position, but I agree that it's really important to have people who have that kind of investment, kids in the system.
And can I get a confirmation? His term is up June 26th?
For David Twitchell,
Yeah.
that's what it says online.
Okay, I haven't checked.
And at that point, the voters will pick.
Well,
Yes.
no,
Who they're gonna get,
The
right?
vote, yeah, but that's his position will be open. His position will be open next town meeting.
Yes.
And people will take out petitions and run for
Yeah.
the place.
Yes.
And then the person that we picked tonight, they finish out Tom Wells's term, which goes until the next July.
Right.
And then the same thing will happen. Petitions will be taken out by prospective candidates and there'll be an election.
I am baffled and pleased, but I would move that we appoint Steve Saunders to be the chair, to be the representative.
Let's take a poll before we make a motion. What do
Okay.
you think, Marianne?
I could support any of these people. Again, I don't know Cheryl either. Andrew, if I may ask, you're still involved in the planning board and the library, and so you are just giving of yourself everywhere. So thank you for offering this too.
Be offended if anything about somebody else's chosen, I will say that, but.
No, but
Given that you are as busy as you are and you're in so many things, I think I'd support Steve because of that and because he's a parent as well.
Tom?
Any of the folks who came with an interest, because I assume that's why you came to this meeting, to share your thoughts on. No, you're here for another reason. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I also approached Andrew as a parent because it came up, it was a curriculum night, I think, that we were at school, and it came up from somebody else that they were looking for somebody to fill the spot, so.
You wanted to do it yourself, but you feel.
I was told severely that I should not do any more committees. I'm ready to get another feeling. As a younger person involved in the town, I appreciate Steve. I went through school under Steve as well. I'm trying also to promote younger involvement. It's hard for everybody in our brackets to do that with all the other commitments that we have. But I think
Absolutely.
it's also strong to get younger voices.
I concur 100%.
And that was the first thing I said to the person who approached me.
I'm sure
Gotta
it
have
was.
young people in this position.
Yeah.
And it was more of a, but we're not finding young people. So I said, look, put my name in, and if nobody else shows up, that's fine. If we have a young person and he's willing to do that, I'm willing to step aside. The other option would be that I finish this term and I won't run again. So I guarantee you that. So then maybe that's a point where you can step in, but that's just.
Well, I know,
This is
Steve, you do a
friendliest
lot
debate
as
I've ever
well.
been to. This is.
Really? No, it's
Either one,
okay.
let the other one happily take his job. So I thought that was interesting though, because you talked about, well, I'm happy that Taylor also spoke up. You mentioned the younger, you said you 100% concur after saying Steve, because Andrew's very busy. So now it's busyness, but youth for busyness against, but I'm enjoying this. I think, Steve, you very easily just said if a younger person showed up, I'm gonna give it to them. So I'm gonna count on the fact that Andrew's got nothing else going on besides planning board and library, so. And a sick daughter that somebody's taking care of right now. Where is she?
Yes, I got
Okay.
a last minute caretaker.
Okay.
Um,
So he's got
Other
help.
way, yes.
He's got help with
One,
things too.
I will, and not that I'm really trying to sell myself forward over Steve, but in terms of my availability, one positive is that it is on Wednesday nights, which are nights that I have. No obligations, I don't have.
I trusted that you had 100% handle on what you were up to.
It wasn't sure, I never have a social life.
Well, yes, right.
And school
Or
board
evening.
meetings are monthly, bi-weekly,
Bi-monthly, I believe.
bi-monthly,
Sorry.
twice a
Twice a
month or
month.
twice, or once every 2
Bi-weekly?
months. Or
I
bi-weekly.
get that confused.
Someone want to make a motion?
Maybe we should check that, I was told.
Well, I did make a motion.
Huh?
I did make a motion,
Oh,
but are you guys more persuaded that he's our man, that
I think you've got a
Coral is the man?
couple of parents of kids in the school system that are hoping that someone who's also a current parent in the school system might be on the board. So
Do-
I would make a motion for Andrew Goro to
Okay.
replace who?
Tom Wells.
Tom Wells. It's his open position for the remaining term on the RSU 38 school board.
Second,
Any other discussion by the board? Public comment? Vote all in favor? Motion carries 4-0.
There goes
Thank you.
Wednesdays.
Thank you all for.
Yes,
for-
Thank you
for
both very much.
good.
Steve, we'll see you in June.
Okay, we back to our,
Right,
back to normal agenda now.
thank you.
Consider approving the select board minutes for November 4th. In the only thing I noticed in your report, you've had that there were 3 applications for the select board instead of the school board. That needs to be changed. If you take a look at the minutes.
Oh,
It says that in the minutes too.
oh, okay. Where is that? Is it under the town manager's report?
I think that's where it was.
So, yeah, yes, town manager's
Yeah.
report section, yeah,
Yeah, that's the only thing I saw.
thank you. So subject to that.
There's the wrong page.
Decision of. select board.
I was hovering around you guys. You didn't mention that. Mary Ann watching from a distance.
Yeah, we had to give up on you after a while.
I'm sorry.
Mary Ann was preempted by technical
I
difficulties.
was, you guys were talking this.
Oh, boy.
Was a motion made to accept this?
Not yet.
Okay, I move we accept the minutes. I can't. Can I make a motion?
I'll move we accept the minutes with the correction that we just discussed to the
Guess I
town
can make a
manager's
motion.
report.
Second.
Yeah, I just can't vote.
Any other discussion?
Sure.
All in favor? Motion carries.
Warrants.
Warrants and donations. You want to tell us about payroll number 17, Shannon?
Yes, I did forget that exception report in here. I don't have anything for payroll. No comments on that.
Oh, that's, okay.
I was thinking of accounts payable.
Move to approve payroll number 17, in the amount of $11,538.52.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. The accounts payable, the item 7B, the authorizing an additional expenditure from road reserve. Tell us about that one.
So I'm requesting an additional $13,684.61. This is for the road paving project. You initially approved the bid that we had come in at $196,349.13. And then since then, you've also approved another $10,500 for tree trimming. So between those two, it comes, the total comes out to $220,533.74. So that's just a difference of $13,684.61.
Okay, the 13,684.61 though, that was for additional gravel.
Additional,
Gravel.
that we've had done.
Yeah, that was for additional gravel on Strickland Ferry Road, correct?
Yes, we had, a contract review. We've had additional gravel, that
And
amounts to
then
that.
we had a slight overrun on its estimated quantities on the paving.
Yeah, so total, the paving, came to $199,544.49. And that was, due to an additional, paving put down for the apron going up to Maxim
Oh.
Road to make it smooth in for about 20 feet. So, about 3,000 extra.
Any questions for Shannon about that? I'll make a motion that we authorize expenditure of an additional $13,684.61 from the Road Capital Reserve account for paving Strickland Ferry, Green True, and Bessie Roads.
Second,
Any discussion? Public comment? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Tell us about accounts payable number 18.
So I've got a few things on this. It includes that 164,000 for all the state paving. It includes our election workers and paying them. You'll see under Elon Financial Services, that's a credit card. And so there were adjustments made to that. Back in July, I ended up making a double payment for about $2,000. And so Lynn has gone in and done 2 credit memos to make sure that everything got accounted correctly. And so that, on that second page, you'll primarily see all of the credit card updates. Overall, in this warrant, the total comes to $1,108.43. Additionally, you'll see the Wayne Cemetery's half appropriation that was actually approved in last meeting's warrant, but we're just reissuing it because we had to cancel the check to update the vendor name. So that's just in here again, even though you've already technically approved it. And then you'll see the half payment to the town of Winthrop for ambulance services. And so that will close out 50% of the fiscal year. And that's all I have.
in the $75,000 fire truck, that's not really a bill that we're paying. That's just a transfer from one account to another.
Correct, yep, so the fire
Okay.
truck portion of for
Yeah.
fiscal year '26, and that's being able to write ourselves a check to go take it over to the president.
Put that in your notes, huh?
Sir, anyone have any other questions for Shannon on that?
I don't, I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Move that we approve the accounts payable number 18 in the amount of $312,657.39.
any further discussion?
No.
All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Consider accepting donations. Would somebody like to make a motion on that?
Move to accept donations in the amount of $3,118.44 to supplement the existing appropriation for Lad Rec Center programs.
Second. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Motion carries. Were you in favor of that, Tom?
I wanted to ask the question at some point. Are we all clean now with the account set up? And I know
But-
casually we talked about it last time and
Yeah.
things look better.
I think that comes up later on.
Okay.
That comes up a little later on.
The very
tonight.
next.
Yeah,
Okay,
comes
very
up later
But
on.
I do like having this process. Thank you, Henry.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a little cleaner and a little more transparent and,
Did you vote in favor of that?
Well, I also think it's legal.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
we're good.
yes, and it's legal. That's not that.
I don't know anybody actually, do we?
That's it. Okay, motion carried 4-0. Item 8A under old business. Shannon sent us copies of the monthly expense revenue summary report last Friday, ending in October. We get that monthly to help us monitor the town's finances. She gave us a very detailed, rundown of it last time. So this time I'll just ask, do any board members have any questions regarding or discussion on any items in the report? Okay. Shannon, is there anything you want to add, any detail you want to add, or anything you want to tell us in particular about the report?
Yeah, so under the Lab Rec Center operations, it'll show a deficit of $10,984.85. But that was as of last month. This is a monthly expense report for October. Since then, our treasurer has been going through and making all the updates and has completed the reconciliation. So as stated in the last meeting, they are now pittances. It was about $200 in reconciliation.
That's
So
great.
they are complete and good with that now. You'll also notice under the Lad Rec Center courts and the salt shed, we moved the $5,000 from the town meeting into an account. It shows up negative on here, but if you
Right.
look at the net profit, and it's a $5,000 positive, so that was from the allocations approved at last town meeting.
Okay, there's no motion to be made on that. That's just for our information and discussion.
Thank
Item,
Lynn, please.
old business 8C, discuss and review the draft board commissions and committees appointment policy.
So this is both stapled and then paperclip to the back of it are Hazel's input, since she wasn't able to attend tonight. So you'll see if you take
Okay.
it apart.
Excuse me.
We have the
Same one, but
we have the packet one.
Yep.
And then, we can talk about, Hazel's comments, I think. And, maybe come to some sort of at least step forward.
well, your markups were post Hazel though.
My markups were pre-Hazel,
You were pre Hazel.
yes,
Hazel just sent these.
yeah.
Got
She also sent out financial policies too. There's a separate.
it. I've got combined in front of me, so I've got Hazel's. Okay.
On page 69, I think Hazel suggested that where it says committees include, examples of ad hoc committees include the 2024 Town Manager Hiring Committee, she suggested we insert advisory, the word advisory between hiring and committee.
Which was its actual long name.
Okay, on line 72. The one draft said the town manager shall be responsible to publish. Hazel suggested we cross out be responsible to and just say the town manager shall publish.
That's fair enough.
That's certainly fine with me. So cross out in line 71B. This now, when I speak to line numbers, I'm speaking of the one that's in the packet. And we're going to cross out responsible to on line 72. Okay. My comments are all incorporated in this thing. That's why I'm not talking about them. They're already in there. Now on lines 111 and 112, Hazel has a comment. What this is saying that if it's basically speaking of if the decision is made to fill a vacant position with someone other than the prior incumbent, okay? And it says that it shouldn't be construed as a judgment of that individual's previous performance qualifications or suitability. And then it goes on to say this. Rather, it reflects the select board's judgment that another candidate more closely meets the present requirements of both the board in question and the town. Okay. Hazel's comment is, should the requirements, it should be requirements of the board. Adding town seems judgmental and broad in scope. I gotta say on that one, I didn't quite understand the comment, but
I can appreciate the comment, but to me, the key words there were, it reflects the select board's judgment.
it reflects the select board's judgment that another candidate more closely meets the present requirements
Both the board in
of
question
both the board in question
and the town.
and the town.
But it's not the town's judgment here.
No, no.
Right, it's the select board's
judgment.
judgment.
Yeah, it's the
Of
requirement.
what's good for the town.
Right.
It's the town's requirement.
Right,
Right.
so
So,
I don't agree with Hazel's strike through.
say what?
And that's your job.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, is just polling the consensus is we're not gonna go on that one.
I'm not gonna take
Okay.
it.
I'm good with it as it is.
Okay, under line 115, where we say examples of these considerations, considerations for the board in town that we just talked about. I said examples might include, but are not limited to, addressing skills or experience gaps in specialized areas such as engineering, environmental issues, or legal matters. And 2, cultivating internal talent, supporting professional development, and promoting knowledge transfer for future needs. These were just examples of things that might cause you to not reappoint an incumbent. Hazel says we may want to add number 3, ensure diversity in membership. What do you guys think about that?
I think I would, if I were to do that, I would say diversity in perspective. Rather than membership specifically.
Yeah, she's
I think,
talking about gender balance and.
I believe that's what, that's
I
what,
think-
that's what it indicates to me. Who wants to add that? Let me put it this way. Lloyd?
I don't think there's a need, we're concerned with that across everything.
Okay, Mary Ann?
I don't find it
Tom?
necessary.
I don't think we need it.
Okay, so we're not gonna do that one either.
Hope we just do that.
Okay, under requesting applications on line 120, where I say the town manager shall develop a standard form or format for requests for applications. Hazel suggests that that's duplicative of line number 116, which says the town manager shall develop and maintain application forms for these town board positions. I agree with her. I'm happy to take that out. You want to take?
The whole sentence out, yeah.
Yeah. So that's on line,
Yeah.
starting on line 120, the first sentence in that subparagraph D, we're lining that through. Okay,
Something that I did not, I wasn't sure where to put it, and so I did not bring it up, so I apologize bringing it up now. But I don't see anywhere where we talk about when to advertise openings for the next year. And I know you wrote this, so
yeah.
perhaps you have that in your head.
I think we might talk, I think it's maybe somewhere, I haven't read it for a while to tell you the truth, but I think it, for governing boards and technical advisory committees, I think it might be in there somewhere,
I
but
talked,
it's not for advisory or ceremonial committees. And you did put it in your comments.
I put it in my
your
comments
email, yeah.
in terms of the ad hoc committees
Yeah.
and when we should be asking for applications, but I don't think we, and it, it may go. Well, I'm not sure where it would go.
Here's what, okay, look at line 120.
Yep.
Now, this is only goes for, this goes for governing boards and technical and advisory committees. So it doesn't go for the ceremonial stuff, okay? Line 120 starts out, for terms expiring on June 30th, the application should be requested not later than April 15th with a due date not later than the first regular select board meeting in May.
And so what I'd like to see somewhere is charging the town manager with making public all of the open seats for the next year by, say, March.
I think
Beginning
that's
of
fine.
March.
And also in your email, you indicated that we should have all the appointments in the first or second meeting in July. I think you said that.
Yes,
I disagree with that, but I'm with you on the timeliness. If we've got people who start work on July 1st, we need to appoint them before July 1st.
Yeah.
And so the
Yes.
appointments should be made in our last meeting in June.
okay. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah.
And what I had in mind was that,
Well, that's how we've always done it. What you're saying,
Right,
we've
and
always,
we
the next year. Yeah.
right, we formally ceremoniously appoint them in July 1st, I think.
I think we ought to do it at our last meeting in June.
That
just like-
sounds good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. that sounds
And,
good. I just want to make sure we have enough time in there to get that work done.
so, under requesting applications, Mary Ann, you would like us to add that the town manager will,
Publish
so
all,
we said for terms expiring on June 30th, applications should be requested. Now, that's by the town manager, not later than April 15th, with a due date not later than the first regular select board meeting in May. So we're basically saying that for everything that expires on June 30th, she should be asking for applications, which would be on the town website or whatever, however method.
well, I think we
choose to
should
do
say that in here. You know,
Okay.
by March
Because
March 15th,
for terms of-
all the open,
Oh, by March,
by
okay.
March 15th, all open seats shall
March
be
15th is a bad
published.
day for politics. Just saying.
Don't know why. Yeah, March 16th, by the second.
Okay, now-
something,
Now,
middle-
this relates to, this relates to governing boards and technical advisory committees, that what we're talking about right now. This relates to, the, planning board, the Conservation Commission, the roads or infrastructure committee now, all those things, not ceremonial committees like the Farmers Market, the Memorial Day Committee.
Well, I think that all of them should be published
Okay.
early,
Okay,
so that people who want to consider volunteering, signing up, running for a seat, have time to consider it. He's
So when
staring at
we-
you.
When we talk about, the appointment process for advisory ceremonial committees, and I kind of left it off there, and the fill-in under that soliciting new members are, that's all, Shannon offered that to us. The paragraph on 5A through F. You all tell me what you want our position to, how much involvement do you want us to have in appointing people to the Farmers Market Committee and the Memorial Day Committee? I'm sort of the opinion that they ought to tell us who they want to have on there.
Occasionally, people, there are openings and nobody knows, so nobody says,
Okay,
hey, I want to be on that. No, I don't think we have to have a great deal of involvement in it, but where else do we publish that our
Okay.
important ceremonial committees need some help?
that's okay. Under the stuff that you added, Shannon, what do you envision that appointment process to be? I mean, each year, are we supposed to deliberate and appoint members to the Memorial Day Committee? Or should we just take, what, Doug and Don Welsh and Doug say these are the guys on the Memorial Day Committee? I'm just asking.
I guess it depends on how much interest you might have for each of those committees. If you have a good amount of interest, then, I mean, at least for the purposes of having their information and their contact
Yeah.
information at the office,
Yeah.
I think it's important to still have an application come through, because it even allows, has on the application, can your phone number be shared? Can this be published online? Certain things like that is important for the town office to know. And so, I foresee that coming to the town, so that way we can also advertise for it, and then having a representative from the Memorial Committee like Don Welsh
Do
or,
Okay.
um,
do we care?
coming and saying, yes.
Do we care if there's 3 members, 5 members, 12 members, or 17 members of the Memorial Day Committee?
I don't know that we care, but I think that would be good. First of all, makes your life a little bit easier to have
Yeah.
the entire list in one place.
No, yes, no, we should have a list.
And every year you can
Yeah.
ask John or whomever,
Well-
say, hey, are you guys good or do you
Yeah.
need some help? And they'll say,
Hey,
no, actually, we're
well-
tight. Right now, we're fine.
And there should be that list of all the appointees
Mhm.
that we sign. And I'm
Yeah.
suggesting we do that at the last meeting in June. We've had that list before that we signed. The question is, how do the names get on that list?
I guess,
It's
I mean,
okay.
some of those committees don't need extra people, but I've had the comment,
This-
how do we know that somebody's looking for membership?
Mhm.
And so it seems to me, you know, the planning board needs somebody, the school board needs somebody, this needs somebody, the farmer's market is looking for somebody, Memorial Committee is looking for somebody.
So-
Same and just
so-
do it.
What does,
That's
When-
all.
when we-
It's not,
when we think of these ceremonial committees, you know, what's the charge of the Memorial Day Committee?
are you suggesting that we shouldn't have to, that we just drop having to publish that there's a position open?
No, I think we can publish, there's a position open,
That's
but.
all I'm
But
asking.
what I'm suggesting is, there's no charge in the town that says what the Memorial Committee does, that I know of. Maybe there is, that,
Do I take them off the website then?
no,
They're not a
well,
town committee?
I think they could be, but when there's a memorial, these, you know.
Check this out. We're doing it. Might be on that.
That's a great question.
Sure.
of whether
I'm
they have a
happy to go with whatever,
That's all.
with whatever the
Right.
consensus of the
That's
group
good.
is, or the majority is. My suggestion is this: I'd like to say that the chairman of these committees advise the town manager of openings, and she publicizes them. But you
Fine,
know what?
That's,
There ain't no chairman. Who's the chairman of the Memorial Day Committee? I say I say Don, and,
We have that on our website.
is there a chairman on them?
Similar.
Is there a chairman for them?
That's North Yarmouth, isn't
The
it?
Memorial Day Committee or the Farmers Market Committee? Now, the Farmers Market Committee is a little different. I think we probably need, that's not a ceremonial committee, because we spend money on them, that the town writes the checks, but. Okay, so, are you looking for a list of committees?
I'm looking at our website. Well,
Okay, do we have a chairman showed for those?
we don't have access. We're good.
I believe so.
Well,
Oh,
this
there
is, I think I showed this to you before, Henry, but it's North Yarmouth just kind
Uh-huh.
of, just has the board and
Yeah.
committee vacancies and they have all in one place. So it's, so this board is looking for 2 members, this one needs a member, this is
Okay.
looking for all members, alternate members.
Okay.
Something simple.
Yeah,
Just, yeah, a
Okay.
page
Yeah.
with board and committee
Just
vacancies.
1 page with vacancies, existing vacancies.
Of all committee.
Like
Welcome.
the it's on our website. It has Teresa.
You'd like to look
as
at
the
it?
Chair.
chair, okay,
That's Jane Davis as the secretary. It
Oh,
has
that-
a term.
okay,
It has a description of the farmer's market and what they do. The Memorial Day Committee is
Keep it
consists
down
of
to
7
volunteer.
members. It serves 1-year terms.
Right there.
It meets on an as-needed basis, and then it has a list of
is there a
everybody.
chair? Okay.
It doesn't have a chair
Okay,
listed, but
okay.
They will know who the
So,
chair
do
is.
you wanna, on these, since you provided us with what we have so far on the appointment process for advisory or ceremonial committees, you wanna indicate in there that chairs of the committee will advise the town manager of vacancies
which line?
by a certain, it's a new provision.
Okay.
I guess under soliciting new members. If vacancies exist or new volunteers are desired, we should have something that the chairs of these committees will advise you by a certain time.
C
So-
C shows
so-
committee
Yeah.
chair input, but you're right, I think that's more about the potential fit of candidates.
Okay.
But Henry's point is earlier in the process,
We
to advise you of
Yeah.
the opening of the,
Okay,
right?
move C up.
I think so, and because there, you could say that's probably the where you start.
Okay.
Committee chairs, whatever it is, will advise of an opening, the need for candidates. And later in the process, we'll continue feedback on applicants' potential fit, something along those lines, so you don't have to write committee chair once.
Okay. So we'll move that
And
to
so-
A.
and so are you suggesting, is the group suggesting that we need applications every year from everybody who wants to stay on the Memorial Day Committee, as an example?
Applications.
Renewal application.
Okay, so you wanna, okay,
If-
so put
if
it in there.
they-
We want
term
applications
is
from
expired.
everybody.
If the term is expired.
It's a 1-year deal. It expires every year.
Yeah, they have.
So,
That's a 1-year.
to your point, you need permission from them to publish their phone number and name.
Yeah.
And
Unless you change the length of term on them from 1 year to
And-
3 or 5.
And so here's the question. What happens on the first meeting in July if we don't have any applications for the Memorial Day Committee?
Well, then I guess the following May, you won't have any Memorial Day ceremony.
Okay,
right. Does that ever happen?
just think about, well, we don't get applications from them. Do we get applications for renewal to the Memorial Day Committee?
I've
We don't.
never gotten an application from anybody except
Anybody.
for the school board.
We
And
just
by
appoint the
request.
same, we just appoint the same people, and if they want somebody else, they come and tell us.
And my only point was not to get applications in there, frankly. It was
Okay.
just to let the public know when
Okay.
there's openings.
Uh,
That was my only hope.
I'm fine. My only observation is for ceremonial committees, we can make it as formal or informal as we choose, but whatever we put in the policy, that's what we need to do.
Do you have changes? I mean, we can take out this if you'd like. This was just a suggestion for a
Yeah.
starting point instead of to
No,
be
no.
continued.
Yes. No,
Thank you.
to be continued, and the only thing on the to be continued, I wrote that in there, but I left out some part of it, which should have been to be continued by someone else.
No, you said that though. Last
Yeah,
week,
yeah.
last week, I
Let's
think you
move
said.
on to the next
Okay.
question here. What's the next,
So,
the next set of questions?
well, I think we're done. Do we have anything more? We're not ready to adopt it yet. But we want some revised language on paragraph 5. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Appointment, is that correct, what I just said? That we need some revised language on paragraph 5?
Did you also finish going over Hazel's in the previous
I
paragraph?
I think we
I
did.
think I did.
You got everything?
Oh, okay.
But
Line 141, you took that out. And then 150.
oh, no, they did not. You're absolutely right. On 141, Hazel wants to take out any applications received after the due date will also be sent to the review committee. Because we say we're sending all the applications to the review committee, so we say, why do we need to say that?
Well,
And I
that-
agree
that's
with
the
that. I'm not
redundant one.
trying to take that
I
out.
went through that. It was the redundant one.
Okay, no, there was another redundant one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's redundant.
And 150. Review committee.
I like the shells. That
Yeah, I think
was
those are
on
important.
150. We're gonna take out between committee and submit, we're gonna take out should and put in shall.
Mhm.
155.
Review committee.
Yep,
51 and 155 both, right?
Mhm.
The review committee, that's correct.
I'm changing it. for
Change selection to review. And I think that's it.
And on the previous page, 121, you like the shall, so we're changing that one too.
On line 121,
124. Should and shall,
yes,
and also on line 129, take out the set and. Town manager will publish a closing date.
yes, that sounds good to me.
So if all we have,
publish on 129, what was it?
Take out the set and,
Yes, yes,
so that will allow more
Yes,
time for
yes,
application.
yes, okay.
Okay,
Okay, and so with those things having been made, are we also, so now we just need to tweak paragraph 5, is that correct?
yes.
and for paragraph 5, Henry, is your point pretty much, if it ain't broke, why are we trying to overfix it?
No, sir, my point is that, ceremonial committees, it basically says what we define them as is these standing committees support the town through guidance, planning, recommendations, or organizing community events, but do not exercise legal authority or make binding governmental decisions. They include committees such, the Memorial Day Farmers Market, whose primary purpose is to encourage civic participation and enrich the cultural life of Wayne. Appointment to these committees is typically less formal, focusing on an individual's willingness to contribute, relevant interest, and ability to collaborate with others. I'm thinking that these types of committees are, I think they should be self-governing, more or less. And that self-governance encompasses deciding who they want to be their members. But it doesn't have to be that way. And it's just my concept I think of a Memorial Day committee. I think of the PTA. Okay. It's a group that supports the community and the cultural values of the community and puts on the parade. It's not like the planning board that adjudicates people's rights. And also, it's not like a road committee that has to have special skill and expertise and advises the town on how to spend its money and how to improve its roads. It is really a ceremonial thing, but we can make it any way that any way that you like.
So I listened to everything you just said.
Yeah.
And it makes sense to me. In Shannon's suggested starting point, 5A,
Uh-huh.
she starts it off, it's soliciting new members, and she writes, if vacancies exist or new volunteers are desired, the town manager will post. So that's pretty much saying, to me, everything after that is moot if vacancies don't exist or new volunteers aren't desired. Right? So does it kind of help? Who knows? Maybe the Memorial Day committee is down a couple of guys and they're trying to get some help.
Okay. No, and I think that's fine, Tom, but then that leads us to automatic reappointment, which I think is great for ceremonial committees. I think that's the way it should be for
Right.
these committees. But then you don't need to get an application from everybody if it's an automatic reappointment. You get an application to review and act on approving or disapproving, or approving them or not. That we don't disapprove of anybody, but you get applications to choose.
So you're
applicants,
saying,
just like we just did with
But
this,
you're
with the school board.
suggesting that we'll get rid of the application process for the
No.
ceremonial committee.
Especially for anyone renewing.
Yes, I'm suggesting fix 5, ever how you want to fix it, but however we say it, we have to do it.
Right.
That's all I'm suggesting.
So for application process, which is at least one of the little points of focus right now, it could be new individuals interested in serving, and we can get rid of renewing or put for existing members wishing to renew is an automatic. I don't know. I'm trying to now clean it up, but still be in a position to help should these guys need the help.
Here, look at line 184.
Yep.
The select board will review all applications and recommendations and appoint members to fill vacancies or renew terms. Okay, typically during its first regular meeting in June. I like the June meeting. That's when we need to do it. But do you want to, just like we went through 3 applications?
Yeah.
For the school board, which is very important. Do you want to go through 12 applications for the Memorial Day committee? We can sit around here and say, well, what do you think about this
No,
guy? What do you think about that
I
guy?
didn't realize that that's what you were talking about.
That's what
When I
I'm
was-
talking about.
When I was talking about dates, you went to this, and so
Yeah.
that's why I was so totally confused what you're talking about.
But.
No, I don't think this is necessary.
And that's my whole point. Do we want to, and it's fine. If we want to lay out 12 applications to choose 9 members for the Memorial Day committee at the first meeting in June, let's go for it. But then,
We don't.
but then we need to do it.
Nobody's suggesting that we do it.
Well,
We're just
It
getting.
was just, I think it was just something that Shannon offered here to finish this out for us, just so that we didn't have to write it. I don't find it necessary, and I appreciate all your.
No, the work is fine. My only question is this. Do we want the select board to review all applications and recommendations and appoint members to fill vacancies or renew terms
No.
for members of
No,
ceremonial committees?
We don't.
Okay.
So write it to show that.
So that, yeah, that's when I say tweak item
yeah,
5.
I think so. But I do have a question for you. Might it be important for people to come in and sign a waiver?
That's on the application.
Yes, right.
What are they waiving?
Their
Privacy for.
So
Oh,
privacy.
Okay, they're telling you that you can publish their,
You can publish, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I approve. of
Or,
this
and that
because
could be
not
something that they
public.
sign when, at their first meeting, can you sign this waiver? Just, we're gonna publish your name and your phone number on the website. Henry? You have a hand?
yes, sir.
Just maybe or maybe not, the committees that you're talking about would like to have, if they're seeking more volunteers, would like to have them submit applications so they can review them.
I think that would be great. I think that they should, yes, I think that would be perfect. But do they tell you, for example, if you were on the Memorial Day committee, I keep picking on them, I don't know why, that's because the only one I can remember. if you're on the Memorial Day Committee and you are the chair and you've got 7 guys that march every year and they're gonna march next year and they're gonna help you next year, do you wanna take applications for all those 7? No. Oh, well, you might, I mean, if you did, okay, but if you wanna, add somebody, if you have some vacancies and you want applications, the committee chair can tell Shannon to publish notice for applications. And then we can send those to the committee chair and let them make recommendations to
So
us.
can we say something like, for ad hoc committees, there may be an application process based on that committee's choices? Something along those lines, and leave it at that.
I think you could decide whatever you want.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Very clever. Yeah, he's a question, but
You are the decider.
Ellisville,
Yes, sir.
let's move on.
Yeah.
From the,
I mean, and it's fine. It's just as long as we do it. And as long as the people who are on these committees don't want to know, why do I have to reapply to the select board for a ceremonial type?
So Shannon said, should I just put a line through all of this? And so I'm thinking that maybe this is over administrating a
Yeah.
process that is working now. So yes, perhaps you should put a line through it. In terms of Ken's question, maybe the committees themselves would like applications. Maybe there's some wording that we can put in there that say the committees
committee choose the members.
committees
Just
choose
say-
their members and may request applications. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I don't think we need to overwrite this, and so I would
Okay.
suggest that we don't take this up.
Certainly broke.
So
We're not gonna fix it.
the first paragraph, then you just want to retain prior to the first regularly scheduled select board meeting in each May. The town manager will request from the chair of each advisory or ceremonial committee a list of all committee members who wish to be reappointed for another term, along with any recommendations for new members or vacancies, or just reappointed for another term.
Yeah,
Okay,
and if you could even put in there, Shannon, if
period.
new members are requested or needed, then they can ask you to send out an application or send out a notice on the town website.
Post it, yeah, just post it on the town
website.
Like
website.
an individual committee application?
Yeah, it would be for that
So each
committee.
of those committees create their own application to give. to
Well,
the
then
town?
you can use a town application if you want. It's just, all I'm saying is, well,
Can we noodle this offline and come back next week
Yes.
and do number 5 again?
yes, next week would be a good time to do it.
Because you're not
Next,
here.
next week would be the best time to do it.
I gotcha.
All right.
Hmm.
The next item is 8D that we haven't covered, discuss the need for an ordinance governing aging at home program, and if one is needed, discuss the process for drafting the ordinance. I sent you all, a couple of weeks ago, questions that I sent to MMA, about aging at home. They suggest that an ordinance makes sense. They agree that there needs to be some funding for aging at home, over and above the salary of the director. I sent that to Stan and asked him what he thought about it. And he responded that he read what MMA says, and he and the other members of the board agreed that an ordinance is probably in order.
I agree as well.
And so, how do we want to go about that? A couple of us could take a stab at it, send it to Stan and ask him for the Aging at Home Board's comments on it. And then have all of us, discuss it at a meeting. Does that sound like a reasonable approach?
That sounds perfect.
Think so. Okay.
It's pretty straightforward, the suggestions were,
Does it need to be longer than a page?
I don't.
Well. Well,
Just an ordinance, just bang, here's the. here's the-
well, one thing
here's
it
the-
needs to, one thing it needs to have is it needs to have the funding in it. The,
Right.
I would suggest, and I'll have to ask MMA about this, but there needs to be a non-lapsing fund set up for aging at home, just like for the Lad Center. And you can put that in a warrant article, but then what's gonna happen is that town meeting passes into the recesses of everybody's mind, and then it's 5 years old, it's 10 years old, and nobody remembers what that is or can find it.
Right.
I'd put that funding right in the ordinance. Part of the ordinance would be funding in the town, when they pass the ordinance, they establish the non-lapsing fund.
And that was the recommendation from MMA.
Yeah, and so there it is, right, right
Right.
there.
I
for
thought that was
everybody
a
to
good
see.
idea.
Yes. So I don't think you're gonna get away with a page, Lloyd.
No.
2 pages,
You know,
you gotta, this is ridiculous, frankly, it's quite ridiculous.
Where's the funding
Something as
for
simple as this, you
AAA
gotta keep these things,
go now? coming
that's
from
why
now?
they've grown so much and not being looked at.
We just put it into an account and it's been carried forward every year.
every year.
Mhm.
It's in one of our
Special revenue.
special revenue accounts.
We've got a hand up, potential input.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard? Just for my own clarification, since I haven't seen the MMA memo you're referencing.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be drafting an ordinance. You're suggesting, Henry, that the ordinance needs to define the structure of the non-lapsing account, but not the specific amount of appropriation that.
Oh, no, the account, when we have a reserve account, just like we set up the reserve account for the lab program last year, that established the account. And it says what it's for and how it can be spent. And then each year the town can just add money to it.
So my question is, the ordinance merely needs to define that structure.
Yes, that's what I would do.
Thank you.
And I would roll that, I'd roll that reserve account into it also, and so all the financing is right there in the ordinance. Now, I haven't asked MMA about that, and I will, but, that seems to me to make a lot of sense, because then everybody sees it when they look at the ordinance. And, Lloyd, here's specifically what MMA said about aging at home. You don't have an annual budget appropriation for the operation of the program, which would provide some additional implicit authorization. So there really doesn't seem to be anything from the town's legislative body that formally establishes the program or outlines its purposes, authorized activities and responsibilities. I think it would be important for a program that appears to provide services and activities to the residents to have that.
And create the liability for us.
If you want to set out the process for what we're going to do, and it's a great program, what we're going to do to support the aging population in Wayne, and you want that to survive the current people that are doing it, I would suggest that maybe an ordinance might be in order.
Well, don't just disregard that at all, I just think that it should be as brief as possible. That's all,
Okay, as possible.
very brief,
Can
Don't disagree.
Stan write it?
not,
You could ask them.
why not, yeah, why not, Ask them for a first draft.
And we could share this communication from MMA, correct? Because.
Yo,
this is
sure, he's already got it. I sent it to him.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well, speaking,
Plus, he
oh,
can-
yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
it gives the reasoning. I mean, it talks about what should be in it, why. So I thought it was pretty clear.
Didn't I really address the Lad Center, but it would be the same, it would be a similar
Yep.
situation.
Many of the concepts are the same.
Yeah, yes. So who's gonna draft the aging at home ordinance? I'm happy to work on it.
I thought it was Stan.
Stan will draft.
You
it,
and-
right.
If you're happy to
Yeah.
work on it, that's great.
No,
You
no,
do a great
no,
job.
just, let's see what Stan wants to do it.
I thought that's what
I
you
thought-
said earlier.
Well, somebody
that's what you
said, somebody said that could Stan do it? No, I said Stan agrees one needs to be done.
Okay.
I was
Um,
just trying to, take it off.
Somebody
Yeah,
needs
play.
to, somebody needs to tell him. He may tell you that he's not on the select board anymore, but I'm not sure what he's gonna what he's gonna say about it. So our official position on this is we want to request a draft from Aging at Home.
Right. We could take that
We-
draft just as inputs into the ordinance that we will also be
And do
preparing.
is there any time frame in which we would like to impose on them to give us this draft?
By the next select board meeting? No.
30 days?
And who do you want to tell them this? The town manager?
Sure. Sure, never tell him. 30 days.
Okay, that's fine.
By December sixth.
Is that what the consensus is? I'll tell you, my opinion is, we're the select board, we write an ordinance, we send it to Stan, ask him what he thinks about it to get his input. But if we
That-
want
I
to
was
do,
just trying to take some work away from you,
Let's get his
Yeah.
input first. Let's get his.
well, I'm,
because I know I can't do it.
I just think it's, whose job is it?
That's fine, then let's do
It's a
it.
select board responsibility. But maybe not.
Well, we got a whole.
Oh,
Yes, yes,
Stack
ma'am.
of,
I'm on the aging home committee.
Okay,
And we are operating under a very difficult situation right now.
I understand.
So we are scrambling to cover a lot
Yes,
of things that are happening at the center. And it would be, I think it would be greatly helpful if the board would draft an ordinance and we'll take a look at it and
Yeah.
tweak it as needed.
I think that's our job. And when I sent to Stan the memo, I explained to him that I just was sending it to him to distribute among the board because Deborah has everything she has going on now. So
well, thanks.
we'll do
Sorry.
it. And then we'll send it to y'all to tell us what you think.
Thank you.
Somebody, in addition to me. I'll do it, but I need somebody to talk to.
Happy to.
Okay. So our action is that we need an ordinance. We have a subcommittee of, Tom and I to do a preliminary draft and then, coordinate it with Aging at Home to get their input. Fair?
second.
Do we want to make that a formal motion? I don't think we need to, but we can.
You don't need to.
Okay. So. The next issue, discuss and review the proposed revisions to the town of Wayne financial management and investment policy. I don't know that, have any of you really had an opportunity to really take a good look at that
I
and
have,
think about it?
I have, but maybe
Okay.
not.
I haven't looked at it. It was a while ago that I gave a hard look at it. I haven't gotten it.
It's a lot.
good one lately.
And I got Hazel's email today with, that said there was a markup, but I had trouble finding it. Maybe I was looking at the wrong attachment to your email or whatever, a markup on the financial.
It's possible that your computer doesn't produce this kind of stuff.
It does,
Familiar?
it produces
does?
it, yeah.
Okay. Cause I've gotten drafts and I can't find any of the comments.
Yeah.
There may be some. But.
I sent some comments and really, you and Lynn need to look at it, Shannon. You saw the ones that I sent a few days ago.
I think so.
Okay,
I had some preliminary thoughts, but I have not been able to go through it recently, so I'm not prepared, I'm afraid.
Well, I have just a couple of.
Question.
Well,
Yes, sir.
I thought most of what you did, I went through and it all made sense. I was curious, and you may be able to do this, I was looking at it, but special revenue fund, line 17. It's referred, the heading says special revenue fund. And then it says special reserve fund, and then in the last line, 173, it says special purpose funds. Is that just typo, or do we use those terms interchangeably?
What page are we on of it? Or they don't have,
I'm looking online, it says 6 online, but
what's the line again, Tom?
170 special revenue fund, so it's section 8, the letter C.
I get the line 170.
Mm-mm.
So,
I'm looking online at, I'm looking at Henry's notes online, so section 8.
Okay, it's 154 is a special revenue fund.
That's in the
It's
printed
section,
copy?
it's section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's section 8 authorizations, paragraph B, special revenue fund.
I think these include Hazel's updates too.
Special revenue fund.
Is that what you're looking at?
That is what I'm talking about.
Okay,
Okay.
and you're right.
One fifty-four,
Okay,
and then 157, it says special purpose funds, and that confused me because I thought
157.
I was using 3 different terms.
Oh, yeah, there shouldn't be purpose.
Okay,
Special revenue funds,
Not special reserve funds.
well,
for special purpose.
Got it.
Or is special reserve the
the
appropriate?
prior paragraph C that had special revenue funds. That's the Lad Center. That's the farmer's market. That's the items that show up in, Trio that are not on our budget. MMA has advised us that that needs to be fixed very quickly because it isn't right. The select board doesn't have legal authority to do what that paragraph as it was previously written says we do. Okay, the funds have to be established by the legislature, by the town meeting. And we could call it a special revenue fund. The idea of a special revenue fund is, hey, the select board says we're gonna get contributions from people. It's not in the budget. The town didn't necessarily approve it, but we get contributions from people and we use it for what they say it should be used. We write the checks through the town. And it's okay because it doesn't obligate the taxpayers for anything.
Right.
That may make intuitive sense, but that's not a proper fund. And so, I'm thinking these are reserve funds that are established. And the town funds them with some small amount. And then they can be supplemented with contributions and utilized like it says. But you're right, there needs to be a consistent term. If we want to call it special revenue fund, that's fine. They're basically, they're non-lapsing reserve funds that are different than the capital reserve because they don't have to be for capital purposes.
To me, special reserve funds seems to be the appropriate name for what you're describing here.
Yes, I would say special reserve funds, but
But we're changing the title of section C. And the last line where it
Yes.
says special purpose funds, and now we're good.
yeah.
Yes.
I think the exception to what you just said is that I think what MMA is saying is that the select board can't establish them. They have to be established.
By the town.
legislative action.
Yes, that's correct. And they should be reflected in the budget.
Okay, and it does say in here.
Okay.
Designated by town meeting as non-lapsing, right? Town meeting approved, not select board.
Mm.
It does say it.
You must have a different version than what was posted. That's my, just to say that.
Do you have a, oh, I don't know,
I'm looking at the hard copy that we've got in front of us, but
so do we want to take this up another time when people have had a chance to look at it? Because it was just sent out like last Wednesday and it's a pretty long document.
mhm.
When do you get your packet off the website? Is that where you took it off the website?
Getting it live now.
Oh, live now, okay. And so the,
I think what I have is the existing policy. That's what the red line change.
Does yours
okay,
say?
I was gonna say, yours doesn't look like that?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
Same.
I printed those off individually for you because if I add them to online, then the black, everything changes to black. It doesn't show any of the red line changes.
they don't show them underlined?
No. When I've added them before, they have printed out black and white, which is why.
Well,
I
black,
put-
black and white, I can understand that on the, okay.
Okay.
The recorded changes you'll see on
Oh,
here,
I thought
are
people were
blue and
saying
red.
917.
but they show up. It doesn't.
It's 1/7.
Oh, so see, 170 is a brand.
I've had problems sometimes where I go to the website to see what I'm supposed to be talking about on a Friday. And when Tuesday comes around, what I really get is something different. And
I also did just get those changes from
Yeah.
Hazel. Did you want those included or no? I received those today,
no, but I'd like, if send them to me, cause I
That's
couldn't
what you
figure out
have
where they were. Huh?
printed off. Those are what the blue lines are.
Oh, the blue lines are Hazel's changes? Okay.
Yes. So if I get updates from select board members after Friday, then they will be included in your packet, printed off in color, so you can see what they are.
Okay.
Or I can just wait till the next meeting
In your spirit.
in another 2 weeks.
Thank you.
100 gigawatts.
I think it would certainly be good to have as much as we agree on, all in black and white. So that we can see, because it's just a mess. It's
Well,
so
no,
I'll
hard.
give you the changes.
So I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to know, do we have a good
So-
ordinance or not?
So, Shannon, on, the town clerk and tax collectors shall both based on availability, wait on, this is on, line number 31. It's in a blue underline.
Yes.
Is that a Hazel change? I thought that's the way it was.
I'd have to go back and look, but like the notes and things that are all in blue. I mean,
Yeah.
it was you and Lynn and Hazel that have made updates to these, and I
Yeah.
originally made some, but, and
Okay,
then there's green on here too. So there's green, purple, blue, and red changes that are reflective of this.
give me a line number with the green change.
68, 78.
It's okay.
They're letters and
It's
numbers.
formatting.
Oh, okay, the formatting change. All right,
When those were made, it usually just changes the color each time
yeah.
changes get added. I guess whoever makes changes could put their name in there, so then you could know who made those changes.
Well,
But
the
again,
That would be helpful, yeah.
I don't
word should
think-
do, I mean, words should do that.
Right.
When you exchange drafts,
But-
it should say whose change it is.
right, so I mean, even online, I'm looking at it now, it doesn't have anything underlined. And then if I were to include, from the previous, that was from the previous one, if I were to include this one, it doesn't include the notes on it. On the website. Something I can talk to the developers about, but that takes some time.
Well, okay, we can talk about that. That's we can talk about that.
In the
another
next
time.
meeting.
Yeah, I certainly agree with Hazel's. On the determination of the recommended fund balance, that's something that will have some importance. And she basically says we gotta start over because this isn't right. First of all, it's just a number of different options and we don't need options right now. We just need to know what the policy is. And so that would be needed. And then a bunch of other smaller things.
So everything in black is what we've currently got.
Believe so.
So how much of this editorial stuff is gonna keep coming at us? So we're gonna see,
What do you mean?
well, are we gonna get together after this or,
This-
So the
This was sent out an email.
so the stuff with the blue lines that says the policy we need to determine what our policy regarding minimum undesignated fund
Right.
balance is and then revise this section. That comment is mine.
Okay, and that's right.
And yes, that's saying that's something we have to decide because we
Right.
know we're gonna have that much money. As this, as the policy says.
And it's out of date as well.
But that comment was mine, not Hazel's.
Okay. Good minds, great minds think alike. Well, what do people desire to do?
I'm going to need to dig into this most recent copy better to be able to speak intelligently.
Yep.
And we've covered a lot tonight.
Yep.
We need to, come up with some recommendations somehow on a way to have these things distributed. I mean, I've tried several different ways and nothing seems to be working. As far as how everybody gets on the same page with
Yeah.
something to review at the same time, so we can look at it ahead of time and talk about it intelligently. I tried 2 columns and that didn't work. I tried numbering lines and that didn't work. We got different red lines. We have different red line copies. We need to find out a way where we can have something to look at that we can review and speak to it, intelligently. Also, I think that we need to have, and maybe we just need to plan a little farther off on our meetings. As far as ahead on agendas, because I can't get something on Friday or Thursday of a week before Tuesday, that's a 20-page document. And come in and talk about it intelligently unless I'm gonna work all weekend on it. And so, maybe
I like this. I am fine with this process.
okay,
My problem is that I did not get a
Yeah.
chance to read it through. So I would like to table this and go on and review it
Okay.
at a later date, next meeting, if necessary, if possible.
yeah, we have an update on the 100-acre woods. We've got an appraisal. You wanna tell us about the appraisal?
Yes, so we did receive an appraisal in and I sent that out to all the select board members. I've got a copy here and it has been sent through our attorneys to another requesting attorney just today. And then as well as the tax costs. I've reached out and talked to our attorney as well about proposed warrant language. That should be the last page added under the packet. That was not included in the packet, but that's just a draft for starting. And so kind of a talking point as far as what you might see. Including a treasurer's statement. Looking at some of the costs, we have a combined taxes owed through October 31st. After talking with the attorney, he said that it might be beneficial to project that through the town meeting. So that way we don't have to keep updating those numbers, because I understand we've had numbers since last year, and then it's continuously getting revised. And a previous statement, which showed we had certain legal fees. I got an outline from our attorney today that showed half of that amount. So, but that dated back to November of 2022. And so I think that there will have to be some historical digging on that. And I'm gonna reach out to the commission, and I've got to go back through some of the paperwork that they've presented to me and that some of the historical documents that I have.
Surely they've looked at some things since.
What's that?
They've looked at a bunch of things since.
Yes, yep, so I've got
They've
to.
only given you through 2022.
Well, this is the legal fees. This is from the attorney. So our attorney only has it dated back to 2022. I think in previous years, the town might have used a different attorney.
Did,
Been several attorneys involved.
Yes. And so I think that I've got to go back and find that actual,
Okay.
those invoices. And have those on hand as well as the survey data. But that's being compiled and that's just a bunch of historical data.
Do you have the information that was put together for us a year and a half ago? Have you been able to find a document with numbers on it?
Like that.
I think so. Yes, okay,
So
good.
Henry came to the office today and was updating some of this as well.
Okay, good.
And so to reflect the tax appraisal for each year, including the mill rate and then the interest rate, how that changed each year. So there have been some minor changes to that.
Mhm.
And then, like I said, the legal fees that were in the previous one that I saw
Oh,
from
okay.
July show half of that. So I've got to find the
I see.
supporting documents for that. And find that through do some digging through some of our boxes. We only keep this year and last year in files and then everything else gets filed away either in the dam house or, I say the dam house, the brick house.
The
up by
damn
the dam.
house.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dam.
House.
So,
Got
but
it.
that's
The-
we just got that.
The appraisal is $515,000.
Yes, it was.
Is the Conservation Commission gonna be coming to us with a proposal on fundraising? Remember, there was people asked me about that and I sent out a note that said, if you have something to say about it, tell us.
I'm not sure what you're asking for.
Okay,
We
there,
still can't come up with a number.
Okay.
We can't ask people until we have
okay,
what we're looking for, but we can certainly have a plan.
Hmm.
We've spoken about that, we've written about that, but we
Okay.
haven't.
We're gonna
put
meet
it in
tomorrow.
form
huh?
of a plan, written.
I expect the number of the payment is going to be somewhere in the range of $300,000.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe a little less,
Huh?
maybe a little less.
Maybe, it depends on, what expenses can be documented and whether those expenses are going to be allowed.
Right.
Those are things to ask our attorney.
Okay, I thought I remembered a number
but-
over 200K.
Yeah,
last
but that was with, a number of, that was with the legal fee number that, Bryce, provided.
Right.
That's half of what she said she just got from the,
This is,
Got it.
that's twice as much of what I got today.
Right.
yeah, I'm saying the number
Yeah.
that was previously provided, what she got today is half of what the number was
Right.
previously provided, yes,
So that's the digging you have to
Yes,
do.
is the other half for that,
yeah.
where
And-
that.
And then we'll need to get advice on, the allowability of all these costs under the circumstances of this particular matter.
Question I have, maybe it's academic now. Now that we've chosen this path to go through the the appraisal. Could we change direction and go, because I believe that it would be impossible to get that kind of money for this piece of land. I just believe it's impossible. I may be wrong, but I believe it's impossible. Could
Well,
we go expose it to the market and find out, see if we have any bids with this that's a $515,000 as a required amount, we're gonna sell it, we're off for this amount. And if there are no takers, then that's a different story.
what's our tax appraisal on it, Shannon? You got it on my form there. That's what we're gonna
Yeah.
assess these people taxes. This is what we're charging them taxes based on.
It's
What is it?
$717,300.
$717,300 is our tax
I
appraisal.
understand, yeah.
And we're telling them they need to pay us this money based on that. The options are to you have an appraisal that gave the market value.
Yeah.
The other option is to hire a realtor and sell a property.
Right.
And I mean, that'll tell you for sure what it's
Yes.
worth,
Yes.
but it won't be sold to the town. Well, it might be sold to the town if they want to bid on it, I guess, but.
Right,
But
that's
it-
the problem with
Could-
that.
Do you
plan.
think, you could set this appraised price as an upset price?
Say what?
We're selling it subject to, it has to be, the price has gotta be
Well,
$515,000 or better.
no, the law said, there's a law, and the law says you can hire a Realtor to sell it for fair market value, and they have 12 months to try to sell it. And whatever they can sell it for,
Sold.
that's what it's worth. If you choose to not hire a Realtor, you can engage an appraiser to appraise the fair market value, and that will substitute for the sales price. And we have that, it's $515,000.
But you haven't got that,
Those are our options.
and you can't go back now.
Well, you can sell, you can go back, the town may not wanna, if the town needs to decide, number one, do they want to purchase this property? Okay? Regardless of what we come up with on these costs and expenses, the purchase price to the town of the property is $515,000. And it's $515,000 because if we pay 300,000, let's just say it was 300,000. We've also given up $215,000 that we would get back.
Right.
So the town needs to decide, do they want to buy this property for $515,000?
Or we can put it on the market.
Or you can put it on the market,
And if
yes.
it was sold at $415,000 and our money is $215,000, then we pass on
The
$200,000 rather than $300,000.
Yes, ma'am, that's true. But it's
But
not
we
our
don't
money.
have
It's not-
our-
It's
right.
not our $300,000.
We don't have the
That's
land,
correct.
right? We don't have the land.
Well, and you get the money,
The reimbursements.
yeah, you get our cost.
Right,
Yeah, so the town.
and over and above
Yes,
goes
over and
to,
above goes to them.
Right.
And which is the same thing that's gonna happen if we go with this appraisal. It's just the appraised price is substituted for the sales price, the appraisal amount.
this is if we keep it. If we sell it, the town would not be on the hook for the 300.
No, but they wouldn't have the property
But they
either,
wouldn't
but
have
they
the
would
property.
receive whatever amount that we are entitled to for taxes, interest, and costs.
Out of the proceeds.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think it would go for 515 either, but there's no way to test that.
Yeah.
If we want to keep the property.
That's what I was trying to
Right,
determine.
right.
So that we can't use that as an upset price then.
No, I don't think so.
Let's push it over there.
But, yes, sir.
I wonder, could we have a appraisal review?
We're going to do that.
Oh,
You can
What?
do that.
okay.
Say what?
You can have our appraisers review it. Anyway,
Oh, you mean have the appraisers explain there, yes,
Yes.
yes, yeah. Now, you're not asking for reappraisal, you just want them to explain their number, yes, sir, yes, we are. Okay. Review the list of loose ends, they're gonna stay loose until another meeting. Public comments. Yes, sir.
Just one, maybe more appropriately under old business, at your last meeting, you approved the siting of a little free pantry here at the Lad Center, subject to code enforcement review. I met with the code enforcement officer, he said no permit was required, no planning board review was needed, so construction is started.
I was wondering what that was.
Thank goodness.
Congratulations.
Town
Thank
manager
you.
report.
I've followed up with the Land and Water Conservation Fund. I'm still waiting to hear back on the closeout for the pickleball tennis courts. I've sent out the information for the perambulation of the boundaries, so we're waiting to hear back from towns on participating members. Once I get that, I will pass that on to you.
Okay.
Next week, I will be out of the office on vacation, and the office will be closed on Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving.
You get vacation.
And I think that's all I've got right now.
Yeah.
Board member reports. Will everybody be here next meeting?
Yes.
Okay, good. I won't.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, Lloyd, you need to work with Shannon on the
Okay.
agenda.
All right.
That's all I have.
What's the date, December?
December 2nd, it'll be the, right after I get back. So, if you're available tomorrow or Friday, that would be
Okay.
great. We can get that together.
Okay, call me and let me know what time's best for you. I'm pretty sure I'm available.
Anything, Lloyd, for
Nothing.
member reports?